Prepare your heart, intending that your emotions want to receive the Quran. And this is how you get affected truly. There's many tools. Supplicating, asking Allah Azza wa Jal, remembering death, listening to reminders. All this prepares us mentally and spiritually. Number 3, reciting it slowly. When you recite the Quran, don't recite it like you're a rapper, like tongue twister. That's not the objective. Tongue twister, his name is that because he raps very quickly. The Quran is not rap. And it's not any other form. It's the speech of Allah. And Allah says, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Recite it in the way that it was supposed to be recited. In the most proper and eloquent of ways. We have to recite it clearly in a calm and proper manner. And we should not be concerned to finish the chapter. Oh, I got 2 more pages and I'm done with Baqarah. Whoa, I'm getting a present. That shouldn't be our objective. I'm almost done with my khatam. They're going to have a big celebration for me in the mosque. That's not the objective. This is not why it was sent. Concentrating while reciting. And this brings about reflection. Because when you concentrate, Allah says something, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, and you, as the companion says, whenever Allah says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, He's either going to command you to do something, or He's either going to forbid you from doing something. So take heed, O believers. And there's many of these commands in the Quran. When we read a book, a magazine, a newspaper, we understand that we're reading it. And if our mind wanders, and this happens to all of us, we go back to the paragraph that we missed, right? Why do we not do this with the Quran? Page on page, surah after surah, and we're like, I don't know what I just read, but mashallah, I got a whole bunch of reward. I don't know what I just read, because all I was concerned about is to finish the juz'ah or the para. I don't know what I just read, but I read a lot. Having compliance with what we read. Quranic speech, like I said, includes questions and answers, promises and warnings, commands and prohibitions. We should interact with the Quran. Make that relationship lively. How do we do so? Answering the questions. When Allah asks a question in the Quran, answer it. Like the brother said right now. When I said, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ, and some brothers said, we should. When Allah says something about the blessings, do as the Prophet ﷺ said. Whenever he would recite an ayah that speaks about grace, mercy, and reward and paradise, he would say, Allahumma min fadlik. Oh Allah, we ask you by your bounty. Whenever he would come across an ayah that speaks about punishment, torment, description of the evil people, نَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ, we seek refuge and protection from becoming like that, or from ending up like that. Let the meaning be the goal, like we said. Concentrate on the meaning. The objective is not letters and words. It's meanings. When I speak to you, if you don't understand me, I have not done my job. Allah Azza wa Jalla is speaking to us. It's intended that we understand the meanings and we put these meanings into effect. Repeating verses that have an emotional effect. And this is amazing. And this is what the Prophet just said. إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ. He was reciting and he remembered his ummah. If you punish them, they are your servants. And he kept on repeating it and crying. Repeating it and crying because it was powerful to him. The Quran has profound meanings. This is one of the main helping tools to quickly benefit from the Quran. The heart is a place that combines feelings and emotions within the human. The amount of faith that the heart carries affects the amount of righteous deeds that the physical body performs. Keep that in the back of your mind. This means that moments that bring reactions that we feel while reciting the Quran cause faith to increase in our hearts. So take advantage of these moments. Because you're in a special trance, a spiritual trance. You're high on iman. Take advantage of it because that doesn't come across all the time. If we want our iman to increase, the Quran is the best tool. وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. When the verses of the Quran are recited on top of them, زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, increases their faith. So faith is not a solid thing. You either have it or you don't. Faith increases and decreases. So the more you recite of the Quran, your faith should increase, inshaAllah. وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. They rely completely on their Lord. Let's interact with the Quran. And finally, after mentioning these 7 practical tools, we should have a sincere dedication. And we must ask Allah to facilitate a way for us to a true return to the Quran. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Allah says, if you call unto me, I will answer you. So if we truly want this, and we recognize that this is the means of transforming, then let's do it. And we're not talking about science fiction, brothers and sisters. I'm not talking about the movie Transformers. We're talking about you and I transforming from a state that we are in. It doesn't matter, even if you're feeling like crap, excuse my language, you could be transformed. A sister yesterday spoke to me, And she says that she fell in a very serious sin. May Allah forgive her. But the Quran is the way to transform. So we shouldn't give up. And we shouldn't give up hope and be in a state of despair. Let us put a clear goal and seek it. A lively heart. This is what we want. And it's just like the Prophet ﷺ described it. He says the way we do that is by seeking the afterlife, staying away from this material life, and preparing for death before it comes. And let's stay reciting the Quran this way with this method, utilizing these 7 tools. Let's renew the relationship with the Quran, because the Quran is your best leader toward Allah Azza wa Jal, and it's the best protection from all these evil trials and tribulations that we have. Brother and sister, if you want happiness for yourself and for your family, if we want that, we must return to the Quran. If we want victory for our nation, we must hold tight to the Quran, because it has all we need. أَوَلَمْ يَكْفِهِمْ أَنَّا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ كِتَابًا يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ أَوَلَمْ يَكْفِهِمْ أَنَّا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ كِتَابًا يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ. Is it not sufficient for them that we have revealed unto you, O Muhammad, a book that is recited top of them? May Allah Azza wa Jal guide us and help us to benefit by the Quran. And this is what we started with. I started with mentioning to you, if a loved one sends you a letter, how will you treat that letter? And a lot of the brothers here I see, and sisters as well probably, youth, you see what people do in high school. Some of us might have shortcomings. We write love letters. How do you deal with a love letter? Allah is sending you letters. Let's deal with it in the proper fashion, because Allah should be the one that we love the most.